These are the 5 most popular shuttlecock brands in badminton, and today we're going to be rating them blind from S tier to F tier to see if they're really worth it or is it just the hype of the brand. Starting with shuttlecock number 1. The sticker in this shuttlecock has been taken out, so I won't know what the brands are. First impression is very nice. The color is very white and beautiful, aesthetically pleasing. Good symmetry all around. We're probably gonna get stable flight path. From first impressions, I'm gonna guess this bird is gonna be rated on an A tier, not fully an S tier because of that flaw, but let's try it out and see how it does. We'll see right after we finish using the shuttlecock that the durability, this whole bird is already starting to flake up. So that was something we observed when we said that the feathers were a little bit stiffer and thicker. So what I would think in terms of price for the shuttlecock, I would price this as, if I were to buy it, somewhere around $32 to $34 range. In terms of the updated tier list, I would move this from an A to maybe an A-. Okay, Paul, what was the price and shuttlecock of this bird I just used?
So the shuttle that we used for this one is the Yonex Aerosensa 40.
Yes.
And the price for it is $50.
This is $50?
Yep.
Oh my God. This is our second shuttlecock, and from first impression, I can tell you immediately that this is definitely going to be cheaper than the first shuttlecock. This bird looks even stiffer than the one before, so durability is probably gonna be a little bit worse. Right now, I would imagine this is gonna be a B tier birdie. I would guess it's gonna be probably $26 to $28. Let's try it out. First of all is its durability flaw. You'll see that in the feathers, when it's fluffing up, all the feathers are not fluffing up consistently, which means over time, as it's wearing out, some of the feathers are gonna wear out faster than the others, leading to inconsistent flight path. I'm guessing this is probably around like $28.
Nope. What we have here is the Victor Champion 1 birds.
Okay.
And they're basically the gold standard of playing birds, so.
For Victor?
Yeah, for Victor.
Okay.
And the worth is $36.
$36. A third shuttlecock looks quite interesting because it's quite similar to the shape and build of our first shuttlecock. So right now, off of first impressions, I'm gonna rate this as an A shuttlecock. All right, let's see what happened to the shuttlecock here. Now, this fluff, in terms of fluffing up, I think it did a little bit better than the previous 2 shuttles. One thing I liked about this one the most compared to the other 2 is that this flight path was a lot better. It had that faster and slow down, though I would have hoped for that it would have slowed down a little bit more near the end. This bird, I'm going to guess, is around maybe $36. And after playing with it, I would put it on, it's an A- rating. Okay, Paul, so what is the price and brand of this bird?
The price of this bird is $35.
Oh.
And the brand is the Li-Ning G600.
Oh, this is 35?
Yeah.
Okay, well this one compared to the Victor one, I would choose this one over the Victor one. Okay, so this bird, quite interesting actually. This bird from first look, I think out of all the previous birds, has an even more favorite shape and build. I think out of flight path or flight speed, this is probably gonna be the best so far in terms of coming out and slowing down. Good shape, very consistent. The feathers over here compared to the other ones don't have that super stiff looking. So I'm hoping that the durability on this bird is also going to be pretty good. Right now, off of first impressions, I'm gonna give this an A tier rating. Let's see how it does. So let's take a look at the bird now. The roughing off or the fluffing of the feather is very consistent throughout, pretty consistent. I would say 80 to 90% consistent, which is really good. The durability turned out really well. There was a slight wobble, very minimal slight wobble on this bird while we were hitting it, but out of all the birds so far, this had my favorite speed and flight path in terms of the dynamics of that fast to slow, which I anticipated in the beginning. So this one is actually pretty good. Overall, I think this one's the best. I'm gonna guess this one, I'm gonna move to an A+ tier rating. Okay, Paul, so what brand is this and what is the price of this shuttlecock?
So these are actually the new Airchy shuttles, which is the sponsor of our video.
Okay.
And they're coming at 20 pounds.
20 pounds, and that's how much Canadian dollars?
That's around $35.
35 Canadian dollars, okay. Airchy, okay, even though they're a sponsor, we are doing completely honest feedbacks. I had no idea this is the Airchy Shuttlecock, but this is actually pretty good. At $35, I think it was just a little bit cheaper than what I would have paid for in terms of the quality that I said here. Awesome. So Airchy Shuttlecocks also, if you want to check them out, you can check them out in our link below, and we do get commission on these shuttlecocks. So give it a go. And yeah, on to the next shuttlecock. Okay. This is our last shuttlecock, and surprisingly, this is the most beautiful shuttlecock out of all the other birds I've looked at so far. Judging from first impressions, although it looks beautiful, I'm assuming that the slenderness on the bird is gonna make it travel quite fast and not slow down as much. From first impressions, I'm probably gonna rate this on an A-, but if the speed can slow down well, I probably give this an A to an A+, so let's give it a try. This bird is pretty damn good. Durability. This is the most durable bird out of all the ones we tried. That's pretty insane. There is one thing about this bird that's a little bit unique, is that its flight path, its rotation, it comes in on a slight curve during the flight path. But what I really also enjoyed about this is how stable the bird flew throughout this entire thing. I really like this one. I would say this one is an A+, and probably also a $38 to $42 bird. Okay, so Paul, so what is the price and brand of these birds?
So these are the RSL Classic tourney shuttles, and they come at $42.
Okay, so it's like, we're starting to get to competitive price, but it's not bad. Okay, so now why don't we go back to all of our birds, check out what our ratings are, and see which ones would be our favorites to pick out. Okay, let's do it. So our lowest rated shuttle is going to be the Victor shuttles. Now these shuttles, you can probably use if you just want to, play normally, but want to use pretty good feather shuttles. This one, these two are pretty good, but this Yonex one coming at $50 is, I expect a lot more. We have to take into consideration that Canada also, shuttlecock prices are pretty high. You can probably get the AS50s for a very similar price. Now this one, around the mid-high 30s, compared to these twos, with also mid-30s and low 40s, I don't think has a lot of competitive advantages. So I would say that these two birds are actually my favorite birds. Now, which would I pick between these two? I would say it's probably pretty similar, very close. If it's something I wanted to use more in training, I would probably use this one just because it was a little bit more durable. If something I wanted to use more in gameplay, I would probably use this one because this had my favorite flight path of the fast to slow. But taking into account, this one is only around $35 Canadian. This one is around $42 Canadian. So yeah, depends what you're looking for. So out of all my favorite shuttles, this one, the RSL for training, and Airchy for gameplay. Again, if you want to check out the Airchy 01 shuttlecocks, they are the sponsor of this video where we do a completely honest blind test. You can check it out below, we do get commission. They also offer branding and online presence solutions for coaches and clubs, which you can check out on their website down below. Until next time, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.